Talking about the neighborhood now, you talked about national security, and obviously there's been a lot of concern about what's happened with the resurrection of the Taliban regime in Afghanistan, and the state of, to some degree, state of our relationship with Pakistan. We have, if you wish, locked the situation with the UN Security Council resolution. The Taliban are struggling to get recognition. Do you see that holding, and for how long will that be successful in holding the Taliban?
You know, I think the UN Security Council resolution is like a expression. You know, it was passed at the end of August, barely 2 weeks after Taliban captured Kabul. It was an expression of a widespread concern in the world on a set of issues. The most prominent of which was, would Afghan soil be used by terrorists, by foreign fighters to target other countries? Also, the nature of the regime in Afghanistan, whether it would be inclusive or not, the nature of the governance in Afghanistan, whether, how would they treat women, children, minorities. And finally, at that time, the issue of Afghans who wanted the freedom of movement in and out of Afghanistan. I would say a lot of those concerns, to the best of my understanding, and as I said, I meet my counterparts, I talk to a lot of people, I think they remain live concerns. At the end of the day, after all, countries who want to make decisions about Afghanistan would make decisions which they are comfortable with, to which they can justify and rationalize to their own people. Some of the issues which the Security Council resolution raised are exactly the issues which various polities are debating and expecting their own foreign ministries and their diplomats to do something about it. We've seen that in some cases. I've seen it recently in some European countries as well, where there was a very, I would say, strong debate which followed contacts with the Taliban. So my sense is that the situation on the ground is a very complicated one, and we'll really have to watch where this goes. But it also, I would say this very frankly, it also justifies the prudence that we have shown, not being in a hurry, whichever way, being deliberative about the choices, about being careful about our assessments, not being led by arguments that, everybody else is doing it, how can we be left behind? If I were to follow that line of argument, I shouldn't be running a foreign ministry, I should just be outsourcing it to everybody else.
You don't see the expected humanitarian problems coming from both a combination of economic collapse and probably famine or famine-like situation breaking the international consensus in Afghanistan?
No, there's no consensus about staying away or being indifferent or unhelpful to a humanitarian situation. On the contrary, there is a consensus that however difficult the politics of the situation may be, that there are people out there, real people out there, and we have to do something for them. And we are very much part of that viewpoint as well. Please note that we have been, from the time the UN Secretary General convened a meeting on the humanitarian situation, we've been very upfront saying that, look, we helped previous regimes in Afghanistan. We see at the end of the day that it was for the Afghan people, that if the Afghan people today need food, if the Afghan people need medicines, I think our relationship with them is long enough and strong enough that we should be doing something about it. And we are trying to do that. We have offered to send 50,000 metric tons of wheat, and We are seeking unhindered access to Afghanistan, and we are trying to find a way by which whatever we supply is obviously distributed in a very responsible and fair manner. So these are all ongoing situations. So I don't accept that, the humanitarian situation will somehow get people to do things which they are not comfortable with. I think everybody is comfortable actually helping out with the humanitarian situation.